Okay, you guys, I'm back. I'm not ready for this, but we have to do it anyway. I'm ready to take my lumps. I'm ready to take my freaking lumps because like I said, and by the way, this comment made me laugh so hard. It's already started. Catherine said, you're the only one who supports Janet and Joy. But listen, I'm ready to stand tall with my convictions and take my lumps, okay? Because I sincerely want justice for Janet after last night's episode of The Valley. Again, Andrew Cohen disgusted me and disappointed me. And you know, here, there's this part where Janet and our husband, Jason, they were talking about how what Danny did to Jasmine and her girlfriend, Melissa, was not okay, and that he has made other women uncomfortable. That's all they said at that point. He had made other women uncomfortable. And so Andy asked them for an example. And so Janet, she goes, what's that? Michelle. And so Michelle passes the buck to Brittany. Brittany, tell us about that experience because you had already told us. Everybody knew about this. Jasmine corroborated the story. Brittany had told the girls that married Danny made her uncomfortable at her birthday party. He got drunk and he was like following her around, flirting with her. So for me, if I were the host here, I'd be like, so why is it that this man married, father of 3 under 3, like he always likes to brag about, why is he always getting wasted? Why is he always around this group, like behaving in ways that make the women uncomfortable, whether it's touching Jasmine's thigh, touching Melissa's ass, or now following Brittany around, right? Danny should have had a magnifying glass under him. His behavior is creepy and it's inappropriate. So Brittany, she did, you know, she shared the story. And instead of us like sticking to that and asking Danny questions about his alcohol consumption and why, you know, if you're comfortable behaving this way within your group of friends, friends that are on TV, friends that know your freaking wife, how do you behave when you're around strangers? I'm sorry, but I'm 100% convinced this man cheats on Nia like crazy. I'm convinced, right? Do I think he wants to cheat on Nia? I don't know. But I think he's got an alcohol problem that leads to him just really, really wanting to get with people whenever he gets drunk, right? And it's inappropriate. So I don't get it. Why are we acting like this is okay? Why are we sweeping this under the rug? Instead of addressing this, what does Andy do? He says, oh, but Janet and Jason, you guys said that like he was touching other women. At that point, no, they didn't. I rewinded it twice, right? Once to see Jason's face, the second time to re-listen to what they said. All they said was that Danny had made other women uncomfortable at that point. Later, they're going to talk about how he touched up on other women too. But at that point, that's all they said, right? So we completely ignored the fact that this man, yet again, is behaving in a way that is disrespectful to his wife and disrespectful to other women. And we point the spotlight on Janet. Why is that? The misogyny. I'm sorry, y'all, but I feel like some of y'all are suffering from internalized misogyny. This is a crash course in misogyny. It really is. How did he walk away unscathed? Why, instead of talking about his disgusting, creepy behavior towards Brittany, towards Jasmine, etc., why are we picking apart what it is that Janet and Jason said to describe his creepy behavior? It's such a cop-out. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I feel like I'm going crazy. I really do. Like, what is going on here? I do not understand it. It feels crazy, right? It really does. I'm sorry. Let's see what some of y'all have to say. Malen says, people hate Janet for speaking up about Danny's creepy behavior. I just want to know, it's okay. Like, it's okay as a woman now. Like, what the F? Exactly. Like, why do we have to pick apart her language and not his actions? Andy never wants to ask Danny, why are you behaving this way as a husband and as a father? Do you think that this is respectful to your wife? Are you cheating on your wife? These are the questions that should have been asked, but they weren't. Instead, it was, oh, Janet, why did you say this? Janet, why did you say that? What? Ali says, a supporter that will steal your man. What's the tea? Whose man did Janet steal? Because listen, she did, besides mine, she already stole my man. It's Jason. Malen is team Janet as well. Thank you. Now we're a team of 2 who support Janet. I was so shocked by the way that this serious topic was handled in part 3. Carly says, you sound like you're bending the knee for Janet. I stand a loyal queen. Listen, I'm standing, I'm bending the knee for like the truth in all of this, right? The truth is that Danny has a problem and Danny is kind of creepy, right? Multiple women from this friend group have now said that the man is creepy. He's made them uncomfortable. When he drinks, he comes on to them. Why are we not asking questions about him being a cheater? He's a cheater, in my opinion. This is cheating. This is weird. Ramser says, Grace, because your love for red-haired, I won't give you a hard time for your opinion on the Sussexes, but Netflix did not like. They did. It's an extended first look deal. And shout out to my redheads. Y'all know I love y'all. What happened? Oh my God, Allie, why did you say that, Allie? Seriously, like, look at the way that this was handled. Why are we not asking Danny questions about his infidelities, right? To me, these are symptoms of infidelities. You're talking to other women, you're flirting with them to a point where they're feeling uncomfortable. Like, why is this man coming on to me? He's got a wife and kids. Why are we not picking that apart? Why are we talking about Janet describing his actions? Catherine says it's probably because he has, exactly. So to me, if you have no tolerance or whatever, stop drinking. And the fact that he can't just stop drinking right now, he's like, oh, I've stopped for 2 weeks. So he could be able to say that on the show. Trust and believe next season, we're going to be hearing more about how this man has gotten back to drinking and how he's creeping on more women. Trust and believe. Nia right now, to me, is what Brittany was to Jax like a couple of years ago. Your man is cheating on you. He's playing in your freaking face. He's disrespecting you. He's disrespecting your children and your family. And you're over here like fighting for your life, pregnant with his baby for, like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Bree says, Grace, I see your perception, but why does Janet and Jason go so hard at Danny but support Jax? I think that's the problem. Well, yes, I think that like that is another question. However, I don't think it's more important than the question of why Danny creeps on other women when he drinks. It's not more important to me than the question of whether or not Danny has been cheating on Nia physically. Is it just flirting, or are you physically cheating on her? Because the way that this man gets so drunk, I wouldn't be surprised if he sleep. You know what it reminds me of? Tom Schwartz. Remember, Tom Schwartz would get blackout drunk and then he'd sleep with other women. And his excuse is, oh, I was blackout drunk. That is the energy that Danny is giving, right? I'm calling on Grace for rewinding. He's so hot. I'm sorry, Allie. He's hot. I love him. He's hot. So yeah, you guys, I was really, really shook about that. I did not understand it. You've got Brittany here saying the man made her uncomfortable. We're not asking more questions about that. Like, what exactly did he say to you? Nia, are you happy that your husband is over here talking to your friend like this? Right? Telling her she's, what was he saying? Like, Brittany said he was coming on to her, but we didn't get details. Andy, that was your freaking job to ask the questions. What did this married man with 3 children at home say to Brittany about her looks or about her body that was so flirtatious? Nia, are you happy that your husband talks to other women like that? Like, that's freaking disgusting. And that is freaking weird, right? So it wasn't until after they said that he made other women uncomfortable that they said that he had also touched up on other women, right? It was 2 completely different moments. But Andy, he had a hard one for Janet. He really wanted to take Janet down in this episode. And so he misquoted her and Jason, and it pissed me off. Okay. So now, you guys, next moment here is we got Jax, who admits that he did have that burner account, Frank Drummond or something like that. And so at this point, you could tell that he is just over it. He realizes that the group doesn't like him. They think he's a joke, right? And this really bruises his ego as a narcissist, right? And so I wasn't surprised to eventually learn that he had walked away from the show, because at this point, like, there's no moving forward for him at this point, right? And so now then we go back to attacking Janet. This man is married. This man has multiple children and a wife at home, yet he's running around flirting with other women, making them uncomfortable, touching some of them, saying creepy things to others. Yet what does Andy Cohen want to focus on? Janet, and how she called what he did sexual assault. So her lawyer husband says, oh, well, actually, it's battery. It's actual battery, right? And so Andy is still upset that we're even calling a spade here. He's like, yeah, but, even if it's technically that, like, using that is like a little bit like inflammatory. Don't you think? Really? You don't think touching up on women, following them around, creeping them out is inflammatory? Calling it what it is the inflammatory thing? That's the problem we have here? please. Janet all the way, my girl. I hope Janet doesn't leave us, because I'm happy that she stood 10 toes down. And she said the exact same thing. She's like, really? So what I'm calling it is the problem, not what he's doing? You know, where was that question? I'm really curious. I really want to know what Nia thinks about this. Nia, this is your husband who runs around town like this, like a freaking drunk, like a freaking creep. What do you think about this? Right? Like, this is so freaking weird, right? And so Andy, he was so like gunning against Janet to the point where he was like, oh, everybody raise your hands if you thought it was inappropriate for Janet to call what Danny did actual harassment or assault or whatever. And they raised their hands. Well, what about this? Everybody raise your hands if you thought that it was inappropriate for Danny to touch Jasmine and her girlfriend. Raise your hand if you think it's inappropriate for this man to leave his wife and kids at home to go around drinking his face off, flirting with other women. Raise your hands if you think it's inappropriate for Danny to be following Brittany around, flirting with her and making her uncomfortable. Where was that? And as I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, this is why the men from Vanderpump Rules were able to get away with abusing those women for a decade. The misogyny, you guys, of Andy Cohen, of the group, and of the viewers is flagrant. And it makes me so freaking sad. It really does. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, you know, as a woman watching this, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. A man can go touch women on their asses. He can go touch their thighs. He can go tell them, you know, call me daddy, this, that, and the other. That's fine. But a woman calls it out and everybody has to raise their hands and say that she's wrong. Okay. That's where we're at as a society. Okay. Okay. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. You know, where were the cheating questions? Andy, like, ask this man, are you cheating on your wife? Right? Like, I think he's cheating on his freaking wife. I do. Bree says, but they did say that. They kept bringing it up every episode, no other storyline. And it's like crazy. And they need it on TV. Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? On these shows, everybody always has like a singular storyline or maybe like a secondary, but it's mainly one particular storyline. And that was theirs and they were sticking to it. Carly says, I only know what you've told us about the show, but I can say Danny seems like a creep for sure and should be called out for it, period. He is a creep. He's a weirdo. He's gross. He needs to like never touch another sip of alcohol in his life. He cannot handle it. Sweet Bonjour says, I'm here. I had to listen to my job tell me I'm sorry about the layoffs. That's always the worst. I got laid off twice. You know, in two big like mergers. It's not fun. The money they give you is fun, but the layoff itself is not fun. Good luck. I hope you survive it, boo. Kelly says, I was disgusted with the way they treated Janet. I was disappointed with Andy too. Yes, we've got a third supporter. We might even have a dozen by the end of this. If you're watching this in the bushes and you support Janet, please come support us. We're dying. We're in the trenches. It's only 3 of us right now. Catherine says, well, actually 4 because Super Joel is with us. Danny's a creep. Kat says, I think it's Danny is probably drunk and leaning into hard and the verbiage used is a little too strong. Well, that's the thing. We need to be stronger about Danny's alcohol consumption. He needs to stop. Oh, like I haven't drank for 2 weeks. Oh, that's cute. Like, please don't drink again for the rest of your life, right? SA is exactly what he did. Exactly. You can't just run up on somebody, touch their ass, you know, call yourself daddy. And like, what? What? Dwayne says, I'm confused about how people are confused. It was always been clear Andy and Bravo support the worst of the worst. There's 4 of us or 5. Oh, I'm so happy. I.e. Portia, Tamra, Vicky, Mia, Giselle, Heather, Dr. Jackie, Heavenly. Exactly. Like, it's crazy. These people are also protected. And I think it's because Danny and Nia give off this like polished youth pastor vibe that people are not seeing like how gross this is. Like, this is disturbing. Like, if this were Jax running around doing this, like the conversation would be a lot stronger, right? Nobody would be like, oh, raise your hand if you think it's inappropriate that Jax is being called an assaulter for like, you know, touching a woman, an unwilling woman's ass, right? Like, people would be asking Jax, like, really, you think this is appropriate behavior? You got your child at home, your wife's raising your child alone, and you're out here getting drunk all the time, creeping women out. You think it's appropriate to be flirting with other women in the group to this level? Come on. And exactly, Malen. Like, you know, I feel like Danny might just be better at hiding it. Like, he's got a problem. He's got a substance problem, right? And he has a woman problem as well. He's got the beautiful, listen, his woman is way out of his freaking league. Let's start there. You got the stunning woman at home. You got all these kids at home. And yet this is how you're spending your free time. It's not even your free time. Like, because it's not even your free time. This is how you're spending your time, period. That, like, oh, OMG says, stay home and have a couple drinks, then you won't accidentally commit adultery. Exactly. But I really want for him to just not drink at all. Like, I think he's got a problem, like a serious problem, and it's very worrisome to witness. Bree says, why was Jasmine humping him from behind literally after? Really? I don't remember that. What episode was that? I have to go back and watch. I don't remember that. Kelly says the cast was subscribing to a backward mentality. Exactly. You know, it was like, who cares about what you do? It's about covering up what you do. Bree says, girl, I think you're going hard because you really like Jason. Girl, stay out of my relationship, please. Kat says, so Andy is dropping the ball on multiple reunions. Yup. Listen, I think that he has done too much, right? He's got like 1 million Bravo reunions. Now he's doing the Love Island reunions. He's got his Sirius XM show. The man has too much going on. We need to kind of like, you know, let somebody else take the reins for certain shows and certain reunions moving forward. Hey, Ashley, welcome to the morning report. Nice to see you, boo. Melissa says, now I'm suspicious of Andy if he thinks Danny's behavior is okay. Oh, listen, remember how Andy blocked our friend Campire because Campire was showing this video of like Andy at like a gay club twiddling a random man's nipple? Listen, I know that man was like a willing participant or whatever, but like, you know, maybe that's his thing. He likes touching up on people too. I don't know. Alice says, sorry, I was driving. I think using the legal terms is what makes this discussion murky to have on a reality show in front of the big boss. Yeah, like it puts the show in like a liability kind of standpoint. Like I totally understand. But to me, like doing these actions, like the network needs to come down on him and say, listen, we can't afford another scandal. You need to keep your hands to yourself. You need to stop harassing women, go home, give your baby a freaking bottle, and stop this behavior. Like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Right? Like, come on. Right? Tyrell's raising her hand. Are we up to a half dozen? We might have a dozen by the end of this. Yes. Justice for Janet, you guys. Kelly says, my butt was constantly touched without my consent while in school. Teachers watched and did nothing. Oh, God, I'm so sorry, Kelly. Like, this type of behavior is so freaking disgusting. And to watch it be minimized, you know, swept under the rug, and the people calling it out, brave enough to call it out, they're the ones catching heat. What? Ali says, did anyone else catch Nia saying she was having contractions? I wonder if that made people not go as hard as they should have. Yeah, that might have been it too, right? You know, and I hate that for her. I'm like, girl, again, why are you pregnant by this man running around cheating on you drunk? Like, what are you doing, boo? You know? And then second of all, like, you're the one going so hard for this man while he has you looking stupid. Your husband is behaving in a way that makes you look like a freaking pushover, like he has no respect for you or your family, and it's gross to me, right? Nikki says, see, this is why I don't watch the show, because it's too much disrespectful and misogynistic behavior. I just listen to your reviews. Yeah, listen, it'll give you a freaking heart attack. I really thought I was going crazy. Like, am I seeing, like, why is Janet getting attacked? Like, that is crazy to me. Absolutely crazy town, right? And Kelly says Jasmine wimped out too. And that's the thing. Like, Jasmine she was supporting Janet, right? She's like, yeah, she's trying to be a friend. And but like, she kept on wimping out. It makes you wonder, like, is it because Janet is now the outsider? She's about to be iced out, and Jasmine doesn't want that to happen to her. And so she has to like play ball. By the way, I'm not sure that Jasmine's going to get another season. Like, I don't really see her being too like enmeshed or ingrained with the cast. So I don't really see them needing too much from her next season moving forward. Good morning, Gwen. Nice to see you, boo. And you know what? It makes me so happy every time I see your birthday door. I'm so happy you got that, you know, for your B-Day. Super duper cool. Now, there was a moment, by the way, as we wrap up this recap where Jesse, by the way, I was actually quite surprised that Jesse's still with his girlfriend, because on the show, it sounded like they had broken up and that she was more interested in like the Baywatch actors than she was in Jesse himself. But lo and behold, the two of them are still together, and she's still coming around this cast threatening, like, you know, lawyers on them, which is so freaking weird. She went to Michelle's season finale Zen party, and then she had the nerve to bring up lawyers again. Like, girl, why are you here? They're filming, right? And she's like, I don't want to be filmed. Then why are you here, babe? Like, that's so weird. And Jessie was like acting like it was so ridiculous that these people would suggest filming with her when she showed up to a filmed event, right? And Andy put him in his place, right? He's like, hell yeah, it makes sense that they would demand that. Like, she came to a set. Like, if she was here at the reunion with you, I would mic her the hell up too, right? Because guess what? You're shooting a show, and the show is called The Valley. And I said, good. Where was this energy for Danny? Let me stop. Danny boy, please stop alcohol forever. You know, you're going to lose your marriage. You're going to lose your family. Mark my words. If this man continues drinking, they're not going to be able to make any more excuses for him one day. So give it a season, give it 2, give it 3, give it 4. But eventually, if Nia has a freaking backbone, she's going to get sick and tired of her creepy ass husband with the drinking problem, the alleged drinking problem anyway. And that does it, you guys. That is how part 3 of the Valleys reunion wound up playing out, you guys. Very, very disappointing. I'm just saying, you guys. You know, to me, this was an exercise in extreme misogyny, both from men and then internalized misogyny from the women defending the stuff on the show. Kristen especially. Oh, God. Oh, the internalized misogyny in that girl. Don't even get me started. Kelly says, how long before Nia files for divorce? Listen, unfortunately, I think she might be like brainwashed due to her upbringing to the point where she probably will accept this stuff forever. But if she had a backbone, she would be ready. She would be, you know, consulting, you know, those divorce lawyers. Just saying. And Danny is a voiceover actor, and in addition to a regular actor as well. Gwen says, thanks, Grace, and same. I tell myself every day I should change it, but now it makes me happy. No, keep it. I love it. It makes me happy too. It's so freaking beautiful. Guys, I don't know why, but it kind of feels like a Friday. I was almost about to tell you guys to have a great weekend or something, but it's not even a Friday. It's only a Wednesday. What am I doing tonight? Oh, I'm going to do my nails. My nails are falling apart now. That's the thing I love about shellac. You only have to do them like every week and a half, 2 weeks. So I'm about to do them over, manicure and pedicure. And I have to watch 90 Day Fiancé so I could do more recaps for you guys. And I also have to, what else do I have to do? I already cleaned my apartment and it's really hot, so I don't really want to go outside like that. But I do have to go and grocery shop. Womp, womp, womp. Bree says, this is all started first season. Janet caused all the drama. And I do agree that the stuff that Janet was saying about Kristen, who was supposed to be her friend at the time, and then bringing the ex around, like that was really weird behavior on her part, for sure, right? And then the Michelle thing, I feel like we never even got to the bottom of that. Like, what was the truth about that, right? At the end of the day. Allie, what are you getting done to your hair? I hope you have a good experience at the hair salon. Listen, I have to take down my hair, speaking of. It's been almost a month. As of next Monday, it'll be a month. I have to take it down. I do have to get a relaxer touch-up, but can I tell you guys, like, getting a relaxer done sometimes is so depressing. Like, it's so hard to find a nice hairstylist. Like, they're always, like, so rude, you know? So, like, I'm dreading it, but I have to get it done. Just to see where my length is at and then deciding what I want to do moving forward. But, oh, God, speaking of hair, I'm dreading that. Milan says, Grace, are you going to watch Taylor Swift's podcast? The one with her boyfriend, alleged boyfriend, Travis Kelce? Yes, I will be tuning in to see how that goes. And, you know, I guess we could talk about it on the morning report as well if you guys would like. Ramster says, my dad raised me well. He was so anti-misogyny. He told me to slap back. Yes, so I did, as you should. I love that, Ramster. Honestly, it's something that we have to instill in our boys and in our girls, especially because unfortunately this world is so patriarchal. This world is so misogynistic that accidentally, many of us internalize that misogyny and enforce it against other women, right? Kelly says, do you do your own nails? Yes, I do. I do my own shellac. I don't know if you could see like the proper color. Yeah, I do my own nails. I bought one of those like machines. You know, I get them off AliExpress, off Shein and stuff like that. And then my manicures last about like 2 weeks or something like that, or a week and a half. Kahara says, anyone watching Look and Be Dynasty? No. What is that? What's that about? Oh, she's getting a sew-in. You know what? Maybe I might even get a little sew-in because I think my hair is maybe like shoulder length now, or just about, but it's very thin. So maybe if I get a sew-in for a little bit of volume. Ooh, but I haven't had a sew-in since like 2010, I think. It's been a while. Yes, absolutely, Tadisha. I'm about a couple of episodes behind, but I'm catching up on that. And I also have to give you guys a recap of Perfect Match. So I'm on episode 6 of Perfect Match. I think there's 3 more episodes, and then afterwards we're going to talk about all the relationships. So far, I'm loving Ollie and AD together, but I'm scared for the other shoe to drop, because I'm hearing that something happens. Marshall might have something to do with something as well. So I'm watching, like, you know, to see how all that goes. I'm nervous because I really do like this couple together. And now they're stuck for life, right? Like, not together romantically, but in general, because they're expecting a baby together. Bree says, well, I saw a post Jason and Janet admitted to playing up this Danny thing for the storyline. Yeah, well, that would be disappointing if it were the case. But at the same time, I still think that the messaging is important, and that overall, the cast should have come down on, oh, now the heat is installing. Now I'm like sweating my, you know, my face off. Yeah, honestly, I still wish that they handled it more. But you know what? I will be honest with you, Brie. I want to know more about Jason and Janet and their marriage. And, you know, I think the way that they explained away the tattoo ring thing, like, oh, we're laughing at ourselves, please. There's more under the surface. And she did admit when they were getting the tattoo that he does take his ring off, right? Something about like, oh, well, now when you take your ring off, you'll always have this. It's like, oh, so you admit he does take his ring off. Let's talk about that. Carly says, mine is down my butt now and I'm ready to cut. Really? Please. And your hair's black? Send me some. I'll put that as my clip-ins or my little sew-ins, Carly, please. You all would have loved my dad. Well, listen, you know, he raised you and we absolutely love and adore you, Ramster. So I'm sure we would have loved him too. Acacia says, good for you, Grace. Thanks, girl. Thanks. But you know what? Listen, I think I'll have to do this Sunday or Monday of next week or something like that, right? So that's why no one cares what Janet says. We hear her first season so she can call out everyone, and we don't care. She really was toxic first season. Y'all remember my recaps? Actually, I didn't recap first season because I watched it late, but she was toxic first season, but I really do like her this season in regards to this particular thing. But I do also say that she's kind of like somebody who sucks all of the air out of a room too, right? So just saying, right? The dad is a hot mess and so are the sons. Oh my goodness. I need to get back and catch up. K-Car says, I would love, okay, well, it's coming up. I've only recapped 1 or 2 episodes so far, but I need to catch up on the rest. Shelby says, y'all don't cancel me for this, but as a white girl, I get a haircut like once a year. Black hair and styles are gorgeous, but my heart hurts for y'all's bank account. Oh, don't even get me started. It's expensive and it's a lot of work, but you know what? Listen, I'm waiting for my hair to get to a certain length so that I could just wear my own hair and save my money. Anyway, y'all, listen, I'm sweating. I have to get like the fan going and I have to start watching 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After and finishing up Perfect Match so I can get those recapped for you guys, okay? If you enjoyed today's episode of The Morning Report, even y'all in the bushes and my playback posse as well, please go ahead and leave a like so that YouTube knows that you enjoy my content. And I'll see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for more of the day's hottest stories. That's all for now. Shout out to the Janets. What do we call ourselves? The Janet 6, like the Jackson 5, the Janet 5. And I'll see you next time. Take care, guys. Have a good day. Bye.